We're going to explain the attribute error NoneType object has no attribute sendkeys error in Python, a common problem when working with web automation tools like Selenium. This error basically means you're trying to use the sendkeys basis method on something that doesn't exist. It's trying to send keys to nothing. Let's break down the causes and solutions. 1. The root cause, none. Web element, the sendkeys method is part of Selenium's web element objects. These objects represent HTML elements on a web page, like an input field or button. The error arises when your code tries to access the sendkeys method of a web element that's actually none. This happens when the code can't find the element you're targeting. 2. Why is the web element none? There are several reasons. 2.1. Incorrect locator. The most common reason is using the wrong locator to find the element. Locators are how you tell Selenium which element to interact with, e.g. by ID, class name, XPath. A typo, an outdated selector, or using the wrong strategy can all result in Selenium failing to find the element and returning none. 2.2. Element not loaded. The element might not be fully loaded on the page when your code tries to access it. Websites often load content dynamically, meaning elements appear after the initial page load. If you try to interact with an element before it's ready, you'll get none. 2.3. Page navigation issues. If there's a problem with navigating to the correct page, the element simply won't exist. Errors during navigation can prevent the target element from loading. 2.4. Timing issues, race conditions. This is a subtle but common issue. If your code tries to interact with an element too quickly before the page finishes loading, it might fail to find it. 3. How to fix the error. The solution involves carefully checking your code for these issues. 3.1. Verify. Locators. Double-check your locators, IDs, class names, XPaths, CSS selectors, to make sure they correctly target the desired element. Use your browser's developer tools, usually F12, to inspect the page's HTML and find the correct attributes to use in your locator. 3.2. Explicit waits. Selenium's WebDriver wait is crucial for handling dynamically loaded elements. Instead of immediately trying to find the element, use WebDriver wait to wait for a specific condition, e.g., the element to be visible or clickable, before attempting to interact with it. This avoids race conditions. 3.3. Implicit waits. Implicit waits tell Selenium to wait for a certain amount of time before throwing an error if an element isn't found. While useful, it's often better to use explicit waits for more precise control. 3.4. Check for navigation success. Before interacting with elements, ensure that the page has successfully loaded. You can add checks to confirm you're on the expected URL or that certain elements are present on the page. 3.5. Debugging. Use print statements or a debugger to inspect the web element object before you call sendkeys. If it's none, you know your locator or timing is off. In short, the attribute error NoneType object has no attribute sendkeys. Error is almost always caused by trying to use sendkeys on a none web element. Addressing locator issues, properly handling page load times using explicit waits, and verifying successful navigation are key to resolving this error and ensuring your Selenium scripts are robust and reliable.